The Confessions of St. Augustine, a 21st century Ecclesiastes. To continue from an earlier post, 16, Fathers and Sons, he reviews his present dilemma and intends to live up to the title of the second novel in the trilogy, The Militant, whereby he decides to eliminate all the distractions in his life, e.g., all the women in his life that men his age tend to think are attracted to them, an illusion he can't afford to continue, so he decides to burn his bridges before they do the same. Okay, all is vanity, but you knew that. It's just what it takes sometimes to make you realize. Because shortly after that little episode, an exercise in futility itself, and shortly before the truth of that reality hit home, really hit home, I remember so clearly what led up to it. Had I so blithely sat dithering between trying to write those letters to those women I already told the Lord I would, reading Ecclesiastes, trying to paint, and looking at old slides again, as usual, but this time of paintings of some of the women I painted over the years. Yeah, all that at the same time, and then thinking, that maybe all I really am is a shallow person myself who paints shallow subjects too, and that's it. Who merely enjoys a nice summer's day and green grass, or a pretty girl, or a ride in the country. With that pretty girl, oh shallow man that you are, Schmidt. That looks mean that much. And then thinking, except God did make us that way, didn't he? Not fat and dumpy, but beautiful, like a Richard Cory or a Helen of Troy. Even Rachel. Wasn't that the original design for all of us? Unique but beautiful? And just because you didn't give a damn and let it all go to hell, Rachel, does that mean it wasn't important? If it were important enough for God to make us beautiful, why shouldn't it be for us? Because the women, Lord, the women. But then, as always, when you start thinking about the women again and how attractive they are, you inevitably start thinking about yourself again and how attractive you are too, right? Until finally, you're convinced you're God's gift to them. Instead, fool that you are, at the age of 55, asking yourself, why? Why? Why are they still attracted to me? Or better yet, why is it I always think they are, Lord? Another sign of senility? Or self-delusion? Because why is it a day doesn't go by I don't see some woman I think is checking me out too? Like yesterday, it was some girl my son's age even, who never fails to go out of her way to talk to me. Touch me on the hand even. Or is that what younger girls do to older people? And the day before that, it was some girl who kept looking at me by the pool. And the day before that, the married one in church. And then the one I always bump into in the supermarket, Lord. Did I have this problem when I was happily married? Or even unhappily married? Because I just don't seem to recall all these women, Lord. Girls even. And it all seemed to go back to the shaved head. I get a few looks before that, but not like this. Not so blatant and so many. So varied and so young. So adoring and oh so nice. I remember thinking just before, I also remembered thinking how I told you I'd write those letters to all those women too, and how I'd settle for the mere flattery of it all. And the possible wisdom of quitting while I'm still ahead here. And now I'd console myself with the possibility that maybe all I was really destined to be was a painter anyway, of the merely fleeting, the transitory, the vanity that Solomon speaks of, the beauty that fades. For, as Solomon also says here, looking in my Bible again, he has made everything beautiful in its own time. And so I always seem to be the one to notice here, Lord. Maybe that's all I meant to do, I remember thinking. Record the beauty, the Richard Corys, the Helen of Troys. Yes, the faces that launched 1,000 ships, because as Solomon also said here, light is sweet and it pleases the eyes to behold the sun. And so, what if I do love something so beautiful as the sun, and the way it shines on a beautiful woman in a field of grass? Because, however many years a man lives, let him enjoy them all. So, be happy, young man, while you are young, and let your heart give you joy in the days of your youth. Follow the ways of your heart and whatever your eyes see. Because it was the last part I remembered so clearly afterwards, because it was the timing that was also perfect. But know that for all these things, God will call you to account. So then banish anxiety from your heart, and cast off the troubles of your body, for youth and vigor are vanity. To be continued. The Confessions of St. Augustine. Now available on Amazon.com.